In day 10 of trial testimony in the Chad Isaak trial, the defense has its opportunity to address forensic evidence that the prosecution says links Isaak to the victims. Brooke Williams joins us now live. Brooke, we heard from that forensic biologist yesterday about DNA evidence. How did the defense respond?
Nicholas, the defense's approach was to focus on the phrase "could not be excluded" that the witness used. The defense also questioned that witness about transfer DNA and the possible contamination of the DNA evidence. The defense looking to strike back today, cross-examining a forensic biologist who testified he could not exclude Robert Faulkner or Lois Cobb's DNA from Chad Isaak's truck.
You didn't say it was a match, right?
I did not.
You didn't say that it was consistent either, correct?
I did not.
You said that it could not be excluded.
That is correct.
The defense also questioning the witness about the possibility the DNA evidence was unintentionally mixed together.
If you have two separate crime scenes that are a fair distance apart, if one person were to even wear gloves at one crime scene and then not change those gloves and hold on to a cell phone, hold on to their own steering wheel, they would then potentially be transferring DNA from a cell phone to their gloves. And if they wore those gloves all the way to another crime scene and then handled evidence, there would be a potential for contamination.
The state on its redirect striking back.
So in this case where there's been testimony that proper PPE was utilized, that the selection process altered gloves every time a new swab was collected, that the evidence was secured, and that nobody that had contact with that blood then touched this vehicle prior to taking these swabs, would that ensure the integrity of your results?
If everything that you described, yes, that sounds like protocol was followed.
The state also called a firearms and tool mark examiner to the stand. He testified that the recovered bullets he examined came from the .38 caliber family, but he was unable to determine if they were all fired from the same gun. Next up on the stand was a forensic chemist, and she testified about another link between Isaak and the victims, saying she found fibers from a face mask and orange sweatshirt located in Isaak's dryer that matched orange fibers found on the victims. The defense on cross-examination questioning whether the results were influenced by investigators.
Per conversation with Pat Howe, this was from RJR vehicle, correct?
Yes, again, I wasn't sure what vehicle this was from, so if it was from Mr. Isaak's own vehicle, it may not be that valuable.
So, at the end of the day, you're relying on Pat Howe telling you where these items are from in formulating your opinions and your connections, correct?
It's not formulating my opinions, but realizing what the importance is. I mean, it doesn't make sense to compare items from a bunch of items from one individual to the other. Like, I didn't compare any of the fibers from the victim's clothing to each other because we know that they were together and it didn't have evidential value. So you have to have some of the story to know what has potential value when you're looking at items like trace evidence.
The state working to piece together the elements of the story for jurors so they will find Isaak guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense working to sow seeds of doubt in the jurors' minds that Isaak committed the crime. On this 10th day of trial testimony, the state rested its case. The defense is expected to begin calling its witnesses tomorrow morning. However, it expects to be wrapped by noon. So we should be done with trial testimony tomorrow, and then closing arguments are scheduled for Thursday morning. So, Nicholas, depending on how long jury deliberations take place, the case is expected to wrap this week.
Okay, Brooke, thank you very much. And you can continue watching our live stream coverage of this case on our KX Facebook page or on our website, kxnet.com.